And welcome everyone to the latest edition of the Washington Wrestle Talk. I am your host, Mike. I've been home for about a week now, and there really hasn't been anything really going on in my life. But however, in the world of wrestling, there has been a lot going on. So let's get started with this. As you know, WrestleMania is 1 week from today. And we've got, some decent matches coming up. I mean, of course, we all knew, we already knew, or kind of knew, that it was going to be Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, and it was confirmed this past Tuesday night, after weeks of teases. The match was the New Day of Xavier Woods and Big E Langston doing a tag team gauntlet. And, the end came when Big E tipped a table over onto Rowan, winning the match by countout, which means Daniel Bryan now has to face Kofi at WrestleMania. So that was pretty much a given right there. Some digital and DVD release date for Fighting With My Family, the movie that's based on Paige and her family. Let's see when this date is. May 14th. And the film opened on February 14th. So, a 2-month run in theaters. That's not too bad, I guess. But it'll be available on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital starting May 14th. The official contract signing for Kofi versus Daniel Bryan is set for this Tuesday night. For Monday Night Raw this week, already announced, is a tag team championship match between the Revival and Aleister Black and Ricochet. Speaking of which, Aleister Black and Ricochet are facing the War Raiders at NXT TakeOver New York this Friday night. They moved it to Friday as opposed to the normal Saturday because the Hall of Fame induction ceremony is going to be on Saturday. So let's take a look here at some other news. As I mentioned last week, Kazuchika Okada won the New Japan Cup. He will challenge Jay White for the the IWGP Heavyweight title at the Ring of Honor New Japan event held at Madison Square Garden. I believe it's this Friday. Let's see here. You got to bear with me here. I'm trying to run two phones here at the same time. So, and if for those of you who don't know Okada, he is without a doubt he's just a hoss. So it is this Friday. No, it's Saturday at Madison Square Garden. So the match is confirmed. Will be title for title. Will Ospreay, the never openweight champion, versus Jeff Cobb, the ROH TV champion. It's a winner-take-all match. Of course, there's the Honor Rumble, which is a pre-show match. And then you have Roosh versus Dalton Castle. And I've been a fan of Dalton Castle for quite a while, and I think his gimmick is absolutely over-the-top amazing. Roosh, of course, is one of the founding members of Los Ingobernables down in Mexico, along with Andrade. He's known as Andrade now in the WWE, but when he was in Mexico, he was known as La Sombra. Mayu Iwatani will defend the Women of Honor Championship against Kelly Klein. Bully Ray will be facing an unnamed opponent in a New York City street fight. I'm thinking it's going to be Tommy Dreamer. That's just my thought. And then we have a three-way match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Taiji Ishimori, representing Bullet Club, will face Dragon Lee and Bandito, which is, kind of interesting. So originally it was going to be a winner-take-all match, tag team title match between the Guerrillas of Destiny and Villain Enterprises. But now it looks like it's a four-way tag match for both titles, as the Guerrillas of Destiny will take on Villain Enterprises versus Los Ingobernables de Japón, Evil and Sonata, and the Briscoe brothers. And then we have Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the British Heavyweight Championship. I believe that's the Rev Pro title. Yeah. Revolution Pro Wrestling British Heavyweight Championship. They just call it the British Heavyweight Championship there. And there's a three-way ladder match for the ROH World Championship as Jay Lethal defends against Marty Scurll and Matt Taven. And, of course, the main event is Okada challenging for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Now, participants already announced for the New Japan Rumble are Cheeseburger, who is, this gimmick is just so crazy. He's about 5'3" and about 130 pounds, soaking wet. But he's fun to watch. And then Brian Malonis, I don't know too much about him. The Beer City Bruiser. He's just I can't even begin to start with this guy. PJ Black, better known as Justin Gabriel from the WWE. Kenny King. Kenny King was in the second season of Tough Enough, and more recently been in TNA. And, of course, the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger. So, it looks to be a pretty good card. We shall see how it goes from... It looks like WrestleMania weekend, which begins Thursday, the 4th, and continues on until WrestleMania. It looks like WXW will be having a show called America First Wonderbar. They're the promotion from Germany. It's their first show ever in the United States. DDT Pro from Japan, Dramatic Dream Team, is coming to Queens, New York for their first show. Impact Wrestling will be hosting an event called United We Stand in Rahway, New Jersey. Of course, we've got NXT TakeOver New York, and this is shaping up to be something pretty big. Of course, you look at the matches from start to finish. I mean, you've got Shayna Baszler defending the NXT Women's Championship against Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kairi Sane. I'm going to go on record right now, and I think it's going to be Io Shirai winning this match. Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle for the North American Championship. We'll see if Riddle can keep his undefeated streak alive. I mean, you got two wildly popular guys in NXT right now, in the Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle. Riddle's undefeated in NXT at the moment. Velveteen Dream, he's only 23 years old. I believe, let me see, August 19th, 1995. Yeah, 23. He's 23 years old. God, he graduated high school. God, I graduated high school when he was born. Makes me feel old. And, of course, you got the 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Championship, which we now know to be Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. Pete Dunne will defend the NXT UK Championship against Walter. Pete Dunne just hit the 680-day mark as champion, the longest since... let's see, he already broke Brock Lesnar's record, CM Punk's record. Who knows? And of course, the War Raiders defend against the NXT Tag Team Championship against Aleister Black and Ricochet. So that's the NXT TakeOver New York card. We don't want March. We want more WrestleMania weekend. United We Stand by Impact will feature Lucha Underground talent, Major League Wrestling talent, Dragon Gate talent, Wrestle Pro talent, Lucha Libre Triple A, and so we've got matches on tap. The Lucha Brothers of Fenix and Pentagon Jr. will take on Rob Van Dam and Sabu in an Extreme Rules tag match. Tyra Valkyrie will defend the Impact's Knockouts Championship in a four-way match against Jordan Grace, Katie Forbes, and Rosemary. Rich Swann will defend the X Division Championship against Yamamoto. In an Ultimate X match for a future X Division Championship match, Jake Crist will take on, it's going to be Jake Crist versus Dante Fox versus Jack Evans versus Pat Buck versus Koto Brazil versus Johnny Impact. Now, I thought Impact was the... I thought he was the Impact champion, but apparently not. Anyways, a Monsters Ball match, Jimmy Havoc versus Sami Callihan. Monsters Ball is just basically a hardcore match. In an intergender match, Tessa Blanchard will take on Joey Ryan. In a tag match, the Latin America Exchange, LAX of Santana and Ortiz will take on the tag team of Promociones Dorado of Low Key and Ricky Martinez. And in an 8-man tag team match, we have Team Impact of Brian Cage, Eddie Edwards, Moose, and someone to be named later versus Team Lucha Underground, the team of Aerostar, Drago, King Cuerno, and Daga. So, I really haven't been a big fan of Impact for so long now. And let's see who else is coming to... looks like RevPro, Wonder Ring Stardom, and Major League Wrestling all come to the New York area. So this is also the WrestleCon weekend. They host it every year right around the WrestleMania weekend. And of course on Saturday you have the G1 Supercard, which is the first non-WWE event to sell out Madison Square Garden. And of course, you've got WrestleMania 35. And now, here is the updated card for WrestleMania 35 at the moment. I'm sure, with it being a week away, we'll have more information between now and next Sunday. So the main event, as reported last week by ESPN, the main event, meaning the match that will close out the show, will be the triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship, as the champion Ronda Rousey defends against Becky Lynch, and the new SmackDown Women's champion Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair won the SmackDown Women's title this past Tuesday night when she defeated Asuka via the figure 8. And of course we have Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. And my take on that is, I believe the only reason Lesnar has stayed around this long was because of the absence of Roman Reigns, with his leukemia diagnosis back in October. So I'm thinking Rollins is going to win this title. Buddy Murphy defends the cruiserweight title against Tony Nese. You know, that'll be an